it was like mandatory that I had to finish each session orgasm. And it had to be specific. It has to be all around the
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real life street stars. You know what time it is.
it was really happening. And then the fact that it happened in trial, right? Because I don't want to deal with the speculation of, yeah, Diddy probably take that. You know what I'm saying? Like, like this is on trial. I'm testified. I was investigated for 11, 12 months. I didn't say a word to the man. I never had any interaction with the man. So it also clears things up for my own like sexuality and rumors and stuff like that. So that's really the only silver lining. I don't got no baby oil panties or anything that I took home.
But there was a thing where they were saying that he was taking the ejaculation and then rubbing it on his nipples and just wild extra shit. Like, were you made aware of that after the fact?
So exactly what was happening was after the fact, but I always suspected something. And the reason why I suspected it was it was like mandatory that I had to finish each session orgasm. And it had to be specific. It has to be all around the outside of her vagina. You know what I'm saying? And what made me kind of figured something was going on with it. And honestly, what I thought maybe he was like licking it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought, right? But I don't know. I didn't see. That's what I thought, right? But the cue was I would do it. And so mind you, I told you, all the couches are covered in sheets. We start wearing towels. And when I would finish, she would never wipe off. He would get up, walk out the room. She would follow him. And she would follow in a way to make sure it doesn't come off. So I suspected something, but I didn't know it was the nipple lathering type of thing.
Did you ever ejaculate in her? Like, maybe it was like, you got one off and he's like, oh, let me put...
Nah.
And the baby's yours, nigga.
Nah, never that. And the truth of the matter is, I never made it to orgasm from penetration.
Gotcha.
We would always do the penetration because I was medicated up, man. I was on a bunch of pills, and I don't know if you ever over medicated on pills, but you go numb. You can't feel nothing, right? So we would always finish sex, and then I would have to rub it out. I had to rub one out. So it was very direct. Huh?
You seen Cassie off the natural, or you said you was on the pills?
Oh, duh, I was on every pill I could find, man. Like I was uncomfortable, so I had to.
In your book, you describe erectile dysfunction as freezer meat.
Yeah.
That name is wild as fuck. How did you come up with that name in particular?
All right, so real talk, how I got the name. I was on vacation with this girl. We was in Turks and Caicos. And so we on this beach. Turks and Caicos got this beach, man, where you could walk like a mile out into the water and it comes to your waist. There, yeah, yo, it's the bomb, right? So we out there, and during this time, I was already dealing with the kind of erectile dysfunction issues, but it was mental. Right. But I'm out there in this paradise and I didn't get anxiety and we messing around in the water and I got brick. And so when we messing around, she reached down and when she grabbed me, she said, damn, this thing is hard as freezer meat, right? So she said it to me, and at the time with me already dealing with erectile dysfunction, getting that type of compliment was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Right. So that always stuck with me. And at the time, I didn't realize it was anxiety causing it. I came back with some dumb, it must be the Caribbean. You know, you get that sun and the sun from the Caribbean. And so I believed that was it. Yeah. But it kind of set a standard that I was trying to get back to. So I named the book In Search of Freezer Meat.
For men that are dealing with that, like, what would you tell them some things that they can do to come back from that situation?
I mean, what I would tell them to do first and foremost is you gotta understand it's mental, right? It's mental. And so what I was doing that was messing me up was I kept trying to fix a mental problem physically.
Right.
Was it stemming from the Cassie stuff?
The stuff contributed. That's why I put it in the book. So where the stuff took me out at was, most guys, and a lot of dudes is messing up. You got a lot of guys that's younger that's using pills and using enhancements that really don't need it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right? So I started the same thing. I started taking pills in my 30s when I didn't need it. And then you get into a scenario where now you're dependent on the pill. And if you get into a situation with pressure, because we all every now and then meet a girl that's like, yo, I gotta put this down. I wanna make sure I come correct. And if you run into a scenario where you don't perform, now you're thinking the pill didn't work for me. And so in the Diddy situation, what I would do is, you're supposed to take one pill, 20 milligrams, and going into that situation, one pill, 20 milligrams was good, but the anxiety made me take, next time I'm gonna take 2 pills. Next time I'm gonna take 2 pills in a honey pack, whatever, and that don't do anything. Your blood vessels can only open up so much, and that's what pills do. So when you overdose on pills, it ain't working no more for you. But anxiety creates cortisol, which constricts your blood vessels. So I'm taking all these pills, doing all these things, not addressing the anxiety. So I would tell a dude, first thing you gotta understand that it's your mind, right? And then once you understand it's your mind, then you play around with what remedy you're gonna use and get yourself as comfortable as possible. And if that still doesn't work, like I say in my book, there's other things you can do, and I kind of chronicle all the things that I did to fix it leading up to the ultimate thing, which is an implant, But and the biggest thing about it is don't give up.
Yeah. What was the worst thing that was causing it through your chapter? Like, what was the worst thing that you figured out for you that was causing the anxiety?
So the worst thing that I figured it out, and I got to keep it this way, it's the feedback from your lady or the woman that's in your mind, your life, right? It's already, as guys, as we get older, we already understand we ain't the same dude when we was in our 20s. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna feel there's a difference. Even if you still doing your thing sexually, you ain't that guy, right? And so what killed me was I had a woman that I was into, I'm dealing with her, I'm thinking I'm holding it down sexually, and then she ended up cheating on me.
Right.
And when I asked her what for, she blamed it on me. Oh, well, you weren't coming correct. I wasn't satisfied, I had things I wanted to do. So when you're already struggling, right, and you're not at your best, and then somebody tells you they stepped out on you, that was like demoralizing, right? Because now I'm putting all this performance anxiety, all this extra pressure on me, and it messed me up in the head, bro.
As did you feel like that was all you had to offer? Like, because I know a lot of men, like, we put a lot of emphasis on, like, that's gonna how we, oh, if she ain't acting right, I'm finna do this. Like, and we get to the point where, like, that's our end all be all. Once we can't solve a certain issue, we're gonna come like that.
Look, let's keep it 100, right? This world, men are validated in 2 ways. It's your wallet and your sex game.
For sure.
That's it, right? So you gotta have one or the other, right? If your sex game's whack, your money gotta be strong, right? And if your money whack, you gotta be holding it down crazy. So,
man, it's so fucked up, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. So now if you got both, you can't tell us nothing.
Right.
Now we entitled, right? Now I gotta have a girl, a side girl, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. You believe that. You believe that's what you supposed to have. So I don't care what else you want to put into play of what's supposed to matter. That's what we're judged about as men, right? And that equates to your masculinity, straight up and down. If there's nothing more emasculating than not being able to perform sexually for a woman that you want to hold down, and there's nothing. And the other emasculating thing is not being able to provide and hold down, in a circumstance where you have to. So most guys, as they get older, if you don't have one of those 2 things, you got dudes depressed. You got dudes in marriages. You hear about dudes in marriages that in relationships they ain't sleep together in years. They stay in separate rooms and stuff like that. Those are guys that gave up. Right. They gave up. Their sexual confidence is low. Their money's not right. Yeah. So they're just a shell of themselves accepting it, right? So that's really what the book was about.
Man, you need to step into some life coaching, bro.
Bro,
for sure.
For sure.
Nah, because I mean, really, there's a lot of men that battle with that, and they just end up accepting, you know, that this is life now. Then they become a shell of themselves. They just accept it and they live in it. But there's a way out of it. You know what I'm saying? But they just don't know the formula to get out of it.
And dude, the thing is, everybody's formula is different, right? The biggest formula is just don't check out, man. Just don't check out. Like if you know, men, life is peaks and valleys for us anyway, right? We've all been up, we've all been down, and you get back up because you don't check out, right? But it's too many dudes in terms of their sexuality. They're just checking out. They're just checking out, like accepting. All right, my old lady don't sleep with me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, and it becomes okay. And some dudes are doing it to their old ladies, right? Where they know they have an issue that they're ashamed and they don't want to fail. So now they stop touching their lady. They stop making advances at her. And now she feels like he's not attracted to me no more. He's not whatever. So the women suffer too. It's not like a one-way thing, but nobody's talking about it, right? So that's why I wrote the book, you know what I'm saying, to try to reach dudes. Because it's like every other guy that I talk to, once they get comfortable, they got a story. Like something they going through, especially when you get over the age of 40.
Just for like, what made you say, I'm a be an exotic dancer?
So,
because
dude,
I mean, there's a road, right? And I don't know, it's probably when the money looking funny is like, and most men lead towards drugs, selling drugs. Not a lot of dudes lean towards exotic dancing. So what was the motivation? Like, what was the thought process behind that?
So really, man, I became a male stripper over breaking up with my high school sweetheart.
Okay.
And so I was one of them dudes that stayed with my high school sweetheart. I thought we was gonna get married. You know, that young first love thing. And she came home like year 3 in our relationship, like, yo, I'm gonna start working in a strip club. Take it or leave it. And I've had a heart attack. Yo, no, you not. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
Right.
But yo, she was like, yo, take it or leave it. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. So I stayed with her, and she worked in the club about a year, then came home again and said, yo, I'm meeting all these guys. I don't want to be tied down no more, and dumped me. And so I'm 21 at the time, and my 21-year-old brain is like, I'll show her, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a stripper too. And dude, that's how I became a stripper, yo.
And that's what made you the Punisher. Fuck that.
Fuck that basketball player.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move it. Hey.